Hello everyone, and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Whichever one applies to you. If you're a first-time viewer, go ahead and give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up. If you're a returning viewer and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up. So I've had quite a few subscribers ask me about my bees and why I haven't been doing any bee content. And the reason being is because it's been winter, number one. It's hard to do bee content in the winter because the bees are in the hive trying to stay warm, trying to stay alive. Well, my bees failed at staying alive. So I don't have any bees to do content on. I don't have any bees to do bee footage on because all my bees died over the winter. I have a completely empty beehive. I don't know whether they died or whether they just decided they'd rather be somewhere else and just left. I've already gone through this thing. Me and the wife came out here earlier and went through it. My wife and my granddaughter were going to join me on this video so they could see what was going on in it. My granddaughter wanted to see inside the beehive. When we cracked that thing open, Bumblebee decided he was going to come around because he could smell that beehive, decided he was going to come around. Well, she kind of got a little scared of the bumblebee, and they decided to leave. She had to go into the camper, back into the RV, and because she's just scared of bees. We finally figured out that her being around a beehive while I'm out here working is probably not going to be a good idea. So what I'm going to do, and have a request of viewers that if you're a beekeeper, an experienced beekeeper, and I'm going to go through this hive and show you what I got going on in there. I'm not going to go through the honey super because the honey super just, nothing ever happened in the honey super. I had a little bit of comb build out in there, but there was never any kind of progress in the honey super. I've got one hive body that had quite a bit of build out on it. And then I had another hive body that they didn't really hit much. So I'm gonna kind of go through some of the frames on here. And if you see something other than just running out of resources or just decided they wanted to be somewhere else, let me know in the comments, because I don't know, I might be missing something. It looks like they just ran out of resources and died. Usually I've seen other videos where when you have a dead out and everybody was still there trying to stay alive, they're in a ball in the middle of one frame, like in the center of the hive, where they just gave up right there, trying to keep the queen alive. And then she died, and then they just died around her. But I didn't see that in this. All I saw was a bunch of bees down in the bottom, the screen on the bottom. So they might have just decided they needed to go somewhere else, because it got really hot this summer. I mean, we were like in the hundreds for a month. And then we had really cold weather this winter. We got below freezing in in my region. That's kind of crazy. So these bees might have been like, nope, we're not sticking around for this. We're out. And so, yeah, and I thought they would have enough resources in there to survive a winter. But I think I was wrong. So I didn't put any kind of sugar water or any kind of pollen, any kind of feed on them. So which is probably my bad. That's the reason I'm thinking they might have just skedaddled and got on out of here, because they didn't have the resources. There was nothing close by. It was probably August before I actually figured out that they needed water, because we were in a drought stage down here and didn't have any water, and they were having to fly and go forage for water. That's when I put water in the hive, which I used a frame feeder instead of a top feeder. And this next year, like I said, I got two more nukes ordered, and I'm going to try it one more year. If I can't make a beehive survive through the winter next winter, then I'm probably just not going to try it again. I just don't want to be the guy that buys a new colony of bees every year and has to start over every year. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to actually grow some bee colonies and get a little bit of honey out of them. Help my landscape out here with some wildflowers and bringing some nature and stuff in. So let's get in this beehive, and if you see anything in there that's crazy, let me know. Like I said, we don't have anything in the honey super. Here's what my honey super looks like. That's the center frame of my honey super right there. So we had absolutely nothing that happened in the honey super. Also, down in the comments, let me know what I need to do to get this ready for another hive, another colony of bees. Because I don't know whether it's okay just to move them in here with all this, or if I need to clean all this old comb out, or what. But that's what the honey super looked like. I absolutely had like nothing except for a little bit of wax comb buildup in the honey super. I don't know. I think I might have tried to grow them a little fast, because I started out with this hive body right here, and then with a honey super, and they got in there a little bit, and then I decided after they got big enough that I think they got like one frame from the end on this frame body, and then I went ahead and put another frame body underneath them, trying to get them to grow even more, and they never did move down into the other frame body. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. But this is my center. Like I said, I've already been through here, so everything's broke free. We had honey over here, and we still got a couple of bees just kind of hanging out, eating whatever they can find in here. But I know I had honey right across here. And on this side too, I had some honey in there. Around the edges was honey. I see this kind of right here concerns me. Does anybody know what that is? Right there. It looks like old pollen. I'm not real sure. Looks like some dried up nectar right around in here. If you know what's causing that, I don't know if that's something to be concerned about. If maybe it just looks like old pollen to me. Let's see what else we got. I think we already looked at that one. See, we had full frames of brood, full frames that we got some, looks like old pollen, nectar stuff in here. Well, tell me what y'all think that is. I just really don't know. But it looks like they just ran out of food. If I'd been more diligent in feeding them and trying to help them along, I might still have a colony of bees in here getting ready to go out and start doing some pollinating and nectarizing. I don't know if that's the right word for it or not. Nectarizing. Is nectarizing a word? I don't know. Anyway, we still got a couple of bees. Whenever I open this thing up, they come around. So this is the hive body that I started out with on them. Have y'all seen anything yet that's concerning that I should be worried about? Do I need to scrape all this comb off here and redo? Will give the new colony a clean slate to start with, or will they use this old comb? I mean, if they'll use this old comb, then I might as well leave it in here, save them the energy. Because from what I've heard before, is that wax, building comb, producing wax is the hardest work for a bee. So, and if you can keep them from having to do it. So I don't know if it's okay to reuse. I remember when we first got this hive, we put the bees in here. I pulled this thing out with a big old gnarly looking black widow on here. Oh my goodness. Yep, it was hard to believe that there was a big black widow in here. All right, so that's this hive body. Now let me show you what they did down here in the bottom, because this is what's concerning. Because I was told that you put the new hive body on the bottom. That way it will encourage the bees. They like to build from the bottom up. So it will encourage the bees to go to the bottom, take the queen, drive the queen down to the bottom so she can start filling up brood and building out wax. I don't know whether maybe they just didn't get far enough along to see this thing is. They didn't build much down here. Was I wrong in that, in thinking they would move down there and start? Yeah. So they didn't build out full frames at all. None of these are full frames. They all got some on it, but no full frames. It's like they just didn't even get down there and finish working. So what if I take a heat gun, you know, some sort of heat source, and heat that up and melt it over the entire? As I had saw a guy one time said that if you get some weird comb going on your frames, to squish it down, melt it down, coat your entire sheet with it, and that will encourage the bees to build more even comb, fill it all up with comb. I don't know if that's true or not. He suggested it in the honey super, so your bees will fill up the whole frame. See, yeah, I might have just pushed them too hard. I might have just tried to get them to grow too fast. What do y'all think? Is that where I messed up, just by trying to grow them too fast? I don't know. So, but there was no place where it was just a bunch of big ball of bees where it looked like they were trying to keep a queen alive. There was a whole bunch of dead bees down on here, which there still is some here. Quite a bit of junk, but I just didn't see any evidence of like the hive dying, you know, together. Like didn't look like they rode the sinking ship down, is what I guess I'm trying to say. Anyway, so y'all let me know what I need to do down in the comments. If you're an experienced beekeeper, I'm sure everybody's got an opinion, and I'd love to hear them because I need them. And I might not take your opinion and go with it. I might take several opinions and think, oh, okay, well, what if we try this? You know, so, but yeah, I think this next year, when I put these bees in here, when I get down here, I'm gonna have 2 hives going this year. I think what I'm gonna do is put a top feeder on here and put sugar water in it, and put a pollen patty in here, which when I first got my bees down here, and the first day I put them in here, I did that. I put sugar water on them, and I put a pollen patty in it. They didn't touch the pollen patty. They drank the sugar water up like it was freaking sugar water. And but I think this year I'm going to put water on them quicker, so they don't have to go out. I heard somebody say that when a bee has to forage for water, that's all they'll forage for. So they won't go out and do pollen and nectar and all that. They got to send foragers out for water because they got to have water to live. So having a water source either close to or on the beehive itself is a good idea. So does that sound right, y'all? Let me know in the comments what you think, because I'm new to this. I want this to work so bad. I want to be a beekeeper. I'm probably going to come out here next weekend, and clean this hive up. And I'm thinking this, it looks like most of the beeswax came off this hive, so I think I'm gonna paint it. I think I'm gonna give it a good, nice, I'm gonna give it a quick sand down and get all the rest of the wax off of it, and paint it white. And maybe somebody commented a while back on one of my videos to paint my hives white because it helps keep the bees cooler in there. It helps the bees keep the hive cooler. So I'm gonna give that a try. But I'll paint this one. So bee castle, my first beehive bee castle, and I'm gonna sand it down and paint it and see if that helps them out a little bit. So, but I'm gonna be coming out here next weekend cleaning this hive up. So I need some suggestions on how to clean it. Or can I just stick bees in that? If I could just stick bees in that, save them some work, hey, that'd be fantastic. Appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all's comments. Appreciate y'all's encouragement. And make it easy to do what we do here. And appreciate it. And y'all like and subscribe. See y'all on the next one.